Hi, my name is Kristin Kaufman. Welcome. You've just joined Have a Seat with Kristin, which is basically a series of videos that is paying homage to the 3 books that I've written entitled Is This Seat Taken? And today you're actually having a seat with me. I come on here every few days to offer tips and techniques to my followers on how to become the best leader they possibly can be. I'm what I call a recovered corporate leader turned entrepreneur. I started a business 16 years ago entitled Alignment, and it's all about helping individuals, teams, groups, and organizations become aligned. Because I believe that when we are aligned, we are at our most powerful and most certainly can be our most effective leader. So I'm actually in the middle of a series of videos that I've put together at the request of my clients, all about how to distinguish yourself and to stand out. Because many of my clients are in large companies, Fortune 50 companies, many of them are small business owners, and still others are in nonprofits and educational institutions. All of them are wanting to distinguish themselves. They're wanting to stand out and to be noticed. So I'm trying to cover the 6 primary, what I'm going to call marketing tips to help us distinguish ourselves among the vast many people who are potentially in that field. So a couple of weeks ago, I gave some very basic tips on how to stand out. If you're curious, that was video number 1. Last video was all about your personal board of directors. What kinds of people should you have around you to help you navigate and to help you get visibility and exposure? And today I'm actually going to talk about networking, because I don't know about you, I'm an introvert, I'm an INFJ. I've always found networking to be somewhat artificial and a little bit contrived, and I never really, frankly, mastered the art. Years ago, I think I've gotten better at it, but I want to talk a little bit about networking and how that can be a tactic to help you, quote unquote, stand out and to become known in your field. And the networking is not just with what I'm going to call networking groups, but frankly, that's kind of hard to do with COVID anyway. A lot of it's on virtual, all of it's on Zoom. However, it's not just about networking with people that are outside of your company or potential prospects. It's all about networking internally as well, or networking in your field, because you perhaps might have referral opportunities or partnership opportunities within your field. So I'm going to give some 3 very basic guardrails, if you will, on how to network effectively. The first is I'm encouraging my clients and I'm encouraging myself to network, frankly, before you need it. I can't tell you how many clients have called me up and they found themselves either wanting to move out of their current role, or perhaps they even got riffed before COVID. A lot of people lost their positions, and all of a sudden they found themselves flat-footed. Their network was somewhat dry. They hadn't been nurturing it over the last number of years. So when it came time for them to need to get their tentacles into new companies or new opportunities, they were starting from scratch. So the first tip is network before you need it. Establish relationships with people before you need to tap in on them. So for example, if you think at some point you may want to be navigating out of your current role, build relationships with recruiters now. Build relationships with people that are in your competitors now. Build relationships with people that are in a partnering capacity or an alliance capacity before you need it. Because if you network generously before you need it, with no expectation, and you're constantly feeding and giving to that person or those people, then when you need to tap in, you will be amazed at how generous they will be back. You know, what we put out is what we will get back. So my first tip is don't wait till you need to tap into your network to build one. That's the worst time to try to build one. Build one before you need it. And do not underestimate the value of having connections outside of your vertical, because again, I have so many contacts and friends that have limited their networking to their vertical field, whether that be healthcare, whether that be technology, whether that be legal, and they're missing an opportunity to perhaps cross-pollinate and build out relationships outside of their field. So that's the first tip. The second tip, be relevant. When you're networking, offer information that is relevant to the person with whom you're networking. This is not about you taking. This is about you bringing relevant information or value to them. So let me give you an example. Recently, I had someone, a prior client, call me up needing and wanting input on how to begin interviewing and to get her name on the list of a bunch of executive recruiters. And I said, well, do you have any relationships with executive recruiters now? And she said, no, I've been with my company for like the last 15 years, so I haven't really needed it. And I said, yes, but they probably needed you, because you probably knew people that might have been good fits for opportunities that they were trying to fill. Even if you weren't that person, they need help. So that's just a data point. Build relationships of relevance with people that perhaps you may or may not someday need in the future, but bring value to them. And I think that's really important. And it doesn't have to just be with recruiters. That was just one example. It could be people in your field. So let's say that you are a leadership coach, or let's say that you're an attorney, or let's say that you are an entrepreneur in a specific field. If you bring value to people that are also in that field, you will be top of mind as a team player. You'll be top of mind with somebody that they may want to partner with or build an alliance with. And again, you never know where that relationship, that relevant relationship, will take you. So that's point number 2. Bring relevance to the engagement, bring value to that engagement, and try to exceed the expectation that someone may have when they first meet you, because that is how you will distinguish yourself to them. And the last point that I'll say relative to networking, and I call this networking for real, follow up. Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. And I don't mean to stalk people and to constantly, be flooding their emails or their texts with, articles or whatever. But there is something of merit when someone just touches base every 3 or 4 months. And, you can put that in your tickler. You can put that in your calendar. You could spend an hour every 2 or 3 months by just reaching out to people that you have met over the course of the prior quarter or the prior half year. Just touch base with them, check in with them. Maybe you saw an article that you thought would be of interest to them. Maybe you met somebody that you thought they might have benefit in meeting. Be a connector for that person. And again, that is networking for real. That is how you distinguish yourself. It's not about sucking the wind out of the room. It's about you adding value to someone else that is relevant, that has strong content, that will help them be the best they can be. And believe me, people will remember that. So that is my tip for today. I'm calling this networking for real. Again, my name is Kristin Kaufman. I'm delighted that you joined me today with Have a Seat with Kristin. And the next video of this 6-part video series is going to be about confidence. We're going to talk about confidence and how when we are confident and we have a posture, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, you can also distinguish yourself. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day wherever you are. Would love to have you follow me on YouTube. And please comment below if this was of benefit to you, or if you have a specific topic that you'd like for me to cover next time. Make it a great day, and I'll see you right back here in a couple of days.